Alam niyo, natutuwa ako dito maganda 'tong venue natin ngayon ano, maganda siya 'no? Pati naman do'n sa 7th floor maganda rin, na gusto ko lang siyang banggitin kasi a couple of weeks ago, we had an outreach in Herbosa, in Tondo, you know. So, yung kanilang worship place, malikabok, tayo naka-carpet, wala silang aircon, kulang ang electric fan, pero ramdam-ramdam mo yung presensya ng Panginoon sa buhay nila. We are praying na together with the leadership of Recent Church, we can do a collaboration with them and teach and mentor their core leaders as well, so that together we can spread the gospel in every nook and cranny of our nation. Diba? Yung pong aking isa-share sa inyo ay pagpapatuloy ng ating Wisdom Series na sinimulan ni Pastor Chris. Before I proceed, I would like to ask you a question. How many of you here are volunteers in a ministry? Worship, kids church, ano ba? No? Mga volunteers, no? Okay, thank you. Now, let me ask you another question. How many of you here are students? Pag malaki natin, estudyante tayo. Nakalimutan ko na kung kailan yung naging... Most of them went out, no? So maraming estudyante. How many of you are entrepreneurs? Employees? Ayun, no? Bakit mas maraming sumagot dun sa second question kaya? Kesa dun sa first. You know, I think that's the tension that we have these days. We separate the sacred from the secular. And that's what I'd like to share. And I hope you will learn together with me. Pero interesting, di ba? More hands went up on the second question. Why? Because we grew up often thinking that we have two separate lives. The spiritual and the secular. Church is spiritual. Work or the marketplace is secular. Sunday belongs to God, while Monday to Saturday belongs to our careers, to our studies, to our businesses, and our daily responsibilities. Tama ba? Do I make sense? And so I'd like to share with you a topic dear to my heart. Malapit din ito sa mga puso ng marami sa inyo. Marketplace excellence. An audience of one. Now, I'd like to think about it. Where do we spend most of our waking hours? Sa bahay ba? Or sa work? Sa school? Sa classrooms? In boardrooms? Diba, mas marami tayong ini-spend na oras sa marketplace. Kaya ako, medyo late na rin, but at least I realized that the marketplace is not a distraction from God's mission. It is actually part and parcel of it. You believe that? You agree with that? Today, we'll discover that marketplace excellence is not just about being successful. It's about representing Christ so well in everything that we do. Whether we are at work, whether we are in church, wherever we are, whatever we do. So let me ask you, what does God want from your life? We often think that serving God only means religious activities, praying. We often think that we will read the Bible more, serve in ministry more, share the gospel more. While, these are very important things, these are real and vital parts of our being. We often overlook the fact that the value of a worker is really someone who became excellent in his craft. If you're a student, excel in school. If you're a worker, be diligent in what you're doing. And so I'm taking off from this wonderful verse from the book of Proverbs. And together, let's read this. Do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men. Proverbs 22, verse 29. Sarap lang isipin, no? The proverb says that such man will stand before kings. And we will recall that in the ancient Near East, lahat ng mga magagaling na craftsmen, lahat ng mga magagaling na builders, lahat ng magagaling na administrator, advisors, scribes, they stand before kings. Who do you stand before in school or at work? Why do we have tendencies to be more complacent at times and excellent in other times? The principle that I'd like to share is that excellence actually creates influence and opportunities. Naniniwala ba kayo doon? You know, when I studied the word skilled, I came upon this Hebrew word called mahir. Sabihin nyo nga, mahir. Hindi mahirap ha? Mahir lang, mahir lang. Nung inaral ko yung mga iba't ibang translations, itong word na skilled ay skillful sa ESV, excel sa New King James Version, competent sa New Living Translation, at diligent sa King James Version. The idea is really not merely that natural giftedness, but a person who has become proficient. Sabihin nyo nga, proficient. Proficient through diligent work and experience. No? So, iba-iba pala yung ibig sabihin ng word na skill. Iba-iba ang connotation. In fact, ang idea na ito ay galing dun sa Hebrew concept about being skillful. Ang ibig sabihin niya ay ganito, no? Skillful and competent, diligent and efficient, prompt and reliable, well-trained through practice, and excellent in execution. The term can also oftentimes convey quickness or readiness in performing a task. So, pag sinabi pala na skilled, hindi lang dahil magaling ka. It is more encompassing. It is broader in scope. It means being diligent, being efficient. Hindi sinasabing mataas ang IQ mo. Hindi sinasabing napaka-intelihente mo. Ang sinasabi dito ay mahusay ka sa mata ng Panginoon. Kaya nga kanina, sinabi ko, and let us remember this, I want you to remember this, that the principle is that excellence creates influence and opportunities. Pakisabi nyo nga, opportunities. Bakit siya importante? Because I also realized that as we study Proverbs 22:29, we do not refer to high IQ, as you can see in our slide, to elite education, to wealth, to social status. It truly means praising mastery in one's calling. Kung lahat ng skill ay para sa matatalino lamang, hindi na ako kasama doon. O marami sa atin ang baka maiwanan. Hindi ba? No. So, it is praising mastery in one's calling. Not all of us can be pastors. Napakahirap ng calling na maging pastor. Tanungin natin si Pastor Chris. Tanungin lalo natin si Sister Lauren. Napakahirap. Alam din yan ni Sister Gina. You know? So, sino ang nanonotice ni Lord? Yun lang ba matataas ang IQ? Yung mga mayayaman? Yung mga graduates sa elite schools? Sino rito ang nasa Ateneo? Ba't ka nahiya, bro? Okay lang yun. Lasal! Oh, galing, no? Nakikiramay po ako sa mga Atenista. UP! Oh, tama, ang dami. Sino rito PUP? Oh, tama, ang galing mga kasama ko. Sino rito ang, marami pang ibang eskwela. Meron akong quick, not to offend people from your school. I worked in a pharmaceutical personal care products many years ago, and we were having this program we had this program for fresh graduates, to invite them to join us as management trainees. And so we, naturally, the owner, were prioritizing people from the elite schools. Now, the problem is, before they end the 2-year term, maalis na. Ayaw. Bakit kaya? So sabi namin, boss, i-consider kaya natin yung next level. UST, PUP, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, San Beda, San Sebastian. I'm from San Sebastian, by the way. Yoo-hoo! And true enough, sila yung nagstay. Sila yung mga natapos ang management training. And guess what? One of them is daw the international marketing director of a food and beverage company. He did well. He did well. So that shows you that being in an elite school will not guarantee future success. But it helps if somebody like you look very angelic, bro. And soon to be successful. Diba? I-claim na natin yun, bro. You know what? And there's another thing. As I was mentioning, God notices excellence in everyone. Pakisabi nyo, in everyone. And guess what? He doesn't notice a man who talks a lot, or a man who has many followers, or a man who is famous. Nanonotice na sila ng mga tao eh. Hindi naman sinasabi na walang care sa kanila si Lord, pero hindi sila, kumbaga, nakakalamang sa ating lahat. Gets? Okay. Do we remember that Jesus spent many years of his adult life as a craftsman? He was, in our words today, a carpenter. His father Joseph was also a carpenter. Let's remember that before Jesus taught crowds, healed the sick, performed miracles, he was doing his trade. He was in what we now know as the marketplace. And I'm sure hindi yun aksidente. Subtly, sinasabi rin ni Lord how important the marketplace is for all of us. Hindi ba? Kaya minsan, there comes a time when we are worried that, I spend so much outside. Di ba, magsisimba naman ako Sunday eh. Mangungumpisal na lang ako kay Lord. Tapos, magsasabi ko ng totoo kay Pastor Chris. Marami nag-iisip sa atin that church is sacred and work is a necessary evil. Ulitin natin, ha? Church is sacred and work is a necessary evil. Not true. Not true. Because what we all learn together or should learn together is that work is part of God's original design. Excellence in work reflects His image, and the marketplace is not outside God's kingdom. Kaya kanina, nakakatuwa, pag-iisipin nyo, if you take a quick look back, when I asked earlier, who among us are involved in a ministry, parang kukunti lang. But come to think of it, all of us are involved in some sort of a ministry. As a student, as a professor, as an entrepreneur, as a business person. So wala talagang secular divide. Walang Sunday person, tapos Monday to Saturday. You know? Nakakatuwa kasi itong word na work in the Hebrew world means avoda. Pakisabi nyo nga, avoda. Avoda is a concept that is intertwined or intertwining work and worship. Pag sinabi mo sa original Hebrew na work and worship, avoda, iisa lang ibig sabihin nun. In other words, avoda has a beautiful meaning. It translated to English, it means work, worship, and service. God does not distinguish. He doesn't separate our spiritual life from our work. You agree? Or is that a realization for many of you? Let's step back for a while. A few days ago, I sent out a Mentimeter questionnaire to some of our friends, the leaders of this church, and for my Bible study group. No? And I asked the question, what are the first 3 words that come to your mind when you hear the word marketplace? At ito yung mga sagot. This is called a word cloud. Anyone familiar with this? It's a word cloud. The bigger the word, that means there were many votes who said the same word. So we got about 40 odd words. No? And number 1 is business. Ang susunod ay profit, buy and sell, buying. May nakaalala isa, alam niya kung sino to, alam ko rin. Hindi ko na sasabihin. Ministry. Imagine that. Business, profit, buy and sell, buying, and ministry. Sana pagkatapos nito, mas marami na mag-iisip na the marketplace is about ministry. Di ba? So ano yung key insights natin dito? Let me just share this and let me read it. Marketplace is mainly seen as a business and profit space, with sales and money surfacing very strongly. Responses also point to an opportunity-driven view, linking marketplace with entrepreneurs, jobs, and work. A few answers suggest a people and product angle, with buyers, sellers, and goods appearing alongside branding. I have to make a confession. Early in my career as a sales and marketing practitioner, as a business executive later on, I viewed the business as a well-oiled machine with only one objective, and that is profit. Sad but true. I grew up in an environment where I became very intimate with corporate metrics, Ma'am Gina. Revenues, margins, market share. Yun eh. Faith was not always expressed. Was not even expressed. Faith is separate from your job. Faith is separate from your job. But I thrived in it. Strange. Because that was my training. I was very intimate with, as I've said, spreadsheets, boardroom meetings, strategies, performance discussions. I was very familiar with corporate thinking, with decisions made quickly, and sometimes ruthlessly, with very little prayer involved. That was the environment I was so used to, pretty much like those who answered our little questionnaire. The measures of success, as I've mentioned, bottom line. Di ba? Bottom line lang. Hindi ko sinasabing hindi importante yun, ha? I'm not saying that. I was also familiar with the tag, people are our greatest assets. Diba? They're always printed on your in your annual reports, in newsletters. But I also came to realize that people are regarded as levers or gears to drive more productivity, efficiency, growth. That's it. Wala na iba. And this one is, huwag kayong mabibigla because this is true. Looking back during my first few years as an employee, someone in the marketplace, I did not think of business as something that God designed. Sad, but I have to confess. At best, I believed that God tolerated business. And why? Because I thought it was a neutral platform where Christians can witness, they can make money, sasahod sila, mapopromote sila, and then they can contribute to activities of the church. That's it. Period. In the middle of my career, I was in a world where results trumped values. The end justified the means. And I'm so thankful that there was so much tension building up until I came to a point that I started my own voyage of discovery, bringing me to where I am now. And praise God for that. At least lumaki yung mga apo ko na iba na yung nakikita nilang lolo. Di ba, no? Marami dito, siguro yung mga kaibigan ko, no? Na kasabayan ko nag-start mag-work. Faith in the times, in the world that I became a professional in, if it was present at all, it was something personal. Kept from meetings, from associations, even from your performance discussion. Wala yun. Kailangan matibay ang dibdib mo. Kaya one time in a Bible study group, merong umattend na isang kasamahan ko sa aking first job. In-invite siya nung isang kaibigan ko. Sabi niya, bro, sama ka sa amin. Hindi na. Hindi, sama ka. Di ba kilala mo si Ed? Patron? Sa San Miguel? Ha? Si Ed Patron? Christian? Bro, malapit na talagang dumating si Lord. Can you imagine that? So if God changed me, I'm sure He will change all of us. Amen. Diba? Palakpakan natin si Lord. So I hope I was able to drive home the point that the marketplace is not merely a place of commerce, but the wider arena of human work, stewardship, service, and influence. You know what? I was given an opportunity sometime in 2024 to attend a conference in Korea hosted by the Lausanne Movement. Si Kuya Jim and si Ate Gina were there. Ito yung sinabi nilang definition ng marketplace. It's a bit busy, but let me read through it. The marketplace is perhaps the only institution that touches directly or indirectly virtually every person on planet Earth. Every person on planet Earth. In one way or another, it is a pervasive part of every society, culture, and people group. It is found in the midst of every religion and every political system in every historic era. Kinote ko si Neil Johnson. Siya isang scholar, educator, and author specializing in business as mission and marketplace ministry. I remember, Kuya Jim, no? Doon sa Lausanne, there were about 5,500 of us. More than a third participated in a discussion group for what? Guess what? Marketplace ministry. as Neil Johnson said, in the years of old, from the silk trade, ang primary exporter ng culture, ng ethics, even religious beliefs, ay mga merchants. Hindi mga pastor, hindi mga church workers. So you could imagine how much influence the marketplace had during those days and up to now. Hindi ba? Bakit ganon? Because business created trust networks. Ang hirap naman nung nasa office ka tapos hindi mo kilala. Naniniwala ka ba kay Lord? Pag sinabi sa'yo, hindi ako naniniwala kay Lord, naku, kawawa ka naman, masusunog ang kaluluwa mo. Wala pang trust eh. We need to establish first that trust. And businessmen in the olden days were able to do that. They established trust network. Kaya dumami yung believers eventually. You know? Ang point ni Johnson is that marketplace people have always been frontline carriers of faith. Sabihin nga natin, frontline carriers of faith. Not merely funders of mission. So yun po ang role natin sa marketplace. So babalikan ko lang yung sinabi ko na marami sa atin naniniwala na there's a sacred and secular divide. Tignan natin itong verse sa Old Testament. Sabi ni Lord, the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to play, to sleep, to entertain, to work, and keep it. So sa creation narrative, work was God's idea. And the first mention of work predates sin. So yung mga nagsasabi, hinihila yung paa papasok or papasok sa school, ayaw niya mag-traffic kung ano-anong dahilan, no? Let us remember na hindi curse yung mga ginagawa natin. Nangyari yan when sin entered the world. Anong result? The curse. Toil, frustration, brokenness in work. But church, work itself was never the curse. God created the work. He said, it is said, the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and keep it. Yan yung message sa atin ni Lord. Kaya nga, I'd like to exhort you guys that this next slide is very important because it tells us that the marketplace is not where we leave God behind. The marketplace is not where we leave God behind. To be continued. Next week naman po yung iba. Tatapusin po natin. So, my question is this. If God designed work, and if God values skill, excellence, diligence, and integrity, then the question perhaps is not whether God cares about our work. I think the real question is, are we approaching our work the way God intended? Are we approaching our work the way God intended? Now, Proverbs 22:29 talks about skill. Is skill enough? Is it sufficient? Is skill enough? Let me just venture to say that we need a lot more. There are 4 other dimensions that I'd like to discuss with you. And the first one is this. Also coming from the book of Proverbs. The 4 dimensions of excellence. First is surrender. Proverbs chapter 6 verse 13 says, commit your work to the Lord. Sabi niya, commit your work to the Lord and your plans will be what? Will be established. Yung Hebrew word pala nitong word na commit, ang ibig sabihin ay galal or to roll completely onto God. Not partial trust, but full surrender. And it doesn't say commit some of your work, Yung panglinggo lang. Yung iba, Lord, balato mo na lang sa akin. Sabi, your work. It's the total life scope. And so, church, I believe that wisdom begins with surrender, not strategy, not performance. Proverbs 6:13 says, surrender. The next dimension is diligence. A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes one rich. Sa ibang versions, lazy hands. No? Lazy hand causes poverty. Now, I also learned that diligence does not just simply mean working hard. Sabihin nyo nga, working hard. O marami kayong maririnig na joke. Work smarter, not harder. Diba? Una, tuwan-tuwa ako rin. Oo nga, no? Galing. Hindi pala yun. We need to work diligently. Diligence in this context means working faithfully, skillfully, biblically. All for ourselves? No. For God's glory. Yun ang sinasabi niya. A lazy hand causes poverty, but the hands of the diligent makes rich. You know what? Nung unang panahon, yung mga ancient na Israelites, pag sinabing diligent person, ito yung nag-prepare ng soil. Inalagaan niya muna. At the ripe and ripe time, he begins planting. He was diligent enough. So yung diligence, hindi lang basta ginawa mo, kailangan may preparation. Kailangan skilled ka rin doon. And the next dimension we've already discussed is skill. As we've said, no? Yung skill ay being competent, being a complete person in the way we do our things for the Lord. At sinasabi rin natin na kailangan yung mga magagaling na pag-aralan natin na they will stand before what? Kings. Sikat siya. Sikat sila. Because they are very skilled. And last but not the least, the fourth dimension from the book of Proverbs is integrity. The integrity of the upright guides them, but the crookedness of the treacherous destroys them. Sabi sa chapter 11, verse 3. Itong integrity, again, in the Hebrew language, means wholeness. It is Tom, T-O-M, sa ating alphabet, no? Wholeness, completeness, soundness, undivided character, moral consistency. In other words, you see what you get. You don't see a Monday to Saturday person and a Sunday person. He's the same every day of the week. His whole integrity. Hindi pwedeng partial. Hindi pwedeng may double life. Pag tumingin ka sa mirror, bis ka, maayos ka kasi mag-worship ka eh. Pero pag talikod mo, Monday to Saturday, iba na yung anyo mo. Nag-iba. No, hindi po ganon ang sinasabi. So, isummarize ko lang ulit itong 4 dimension of excellence. If there's anything that I'd like you to take home with you, it's these 4 dimensions. Surrender, commit your work to the Lord. Commit your work to the God in everything that we do. You know, there are so many things in my life, especially when I was younger, that, sige, game, opportunity, let's capture it or create opportunities. No? And you know, now looking back, the absent was a robust prayer life. Mabuti na lang mabait si Lord. Diba nasabi ko nung first time that I was standing before you na kung merong deadline si Lord na iwan ako ng bus. Pero napakabait niya. Napakabait niya. The next is, develop your skill. Sabi ng Proverbs 22:29. Tuloy tayong mag-practice. Hindi pwedeng widow. Dati yun, nagpapiano ako Jim. Piano ako. Nakalimutan ko. Kasi hindi ko na siya napapractice. Protect your gift or your giftedness. Develop your skill. Yung mga marunong magsayaw. Hanggang tumanda tayo, nakita ko yung isa. Daddy niyo ba yun? Ang galing magsayaw. Nakakainggit. Naalala ko yung ginagawa ko nung araw. Sa panaginip lang. Parehong kaliwain pa ako eh. But seriously, let's protect and develop continuously our gifts. The third dimension is diligence. Let's practice diligence. Let's practice being good in everything that we do. And then last but not the least, let's protect integrity. Proverbs 11:13. So for those of you who love equations, and for all of us, let me share this. Surrender plus skill plus diligence plus integrity equals marketplace excellence. Yan po yung take-home natin na equation. Yet, this is more than just a formula for success. In our minds, let's develop this mindset that this is a framework for faithful living. When our work is surrendered to God, we can never go wrong. Sometimes you wait, sometimes you prepare, it happens tomorrow, it doesn't happen, because He has something better in store for us. Hindi lang natin siya nakikita, hindi ba? And let us remember, God is not looking for perfection. Ulitin natin. God is not looking for perfection, but He honors excellence born out of diligence and a heart that seeks to please Him. We don't just want to be good because we would like to impress our boss. Let's endeavor to try or seek to please Him. Kanina sabi ko, to be continued. Ito po yung continuation. The marketplace is not where we leave God behind. It is, in fact, where we put God's wisdom on display. Yung po marketplace is where you test your character, your patience, your relationships. We build, in fact, even our future spouses from the marketplace. Many of us na-meet yung mga partner natin sa school. Sino yun? Sino dito na-meet yung partners nyo or girlfriend nyo, boyfriend nyo sa school? O, dalawa lang kami. Na-meet ko yung wife ko sa school. Okay, I'm about to end this. Let me just share with you one more slide. Marketplace excellence is not just about being successful. It's about representing Christ so well in what we do that people see His wisdom, His integrity, and His goodness through our lives every day, not just on Sundays. Napaka-importante po. Hindi lang yun. Kailangan paglabas natin dito, si Lord pa rin. Si Lord pa rin. And you know what? I cannot end this preaching without sharing you this very beautiful verse from Paul. Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 to 24. Work willingly at whatever you do, as though you were working for the Lord rather than for people. Remember that the Lord will give you an inheritance as your reward, and that the master you are serving is Christ Himself. He is our audience of one.